To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the off-grid lifestyle, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So today, it's the first project that we are going to do on our homestead or off-grid living, little tiny house, whatever you want to call it. We got to get the well put in. That's been the plan. We were going to do the well first. Right now it's about, I don't know, 45 degrees, so easy to work in. Just a little jacket, we'll do fine. But I decided to challenge myself a little bit more than normal. This wasn't a big enough a challenge, so I thought I'd go and sprain my ankle last night. So now I'm doing half steps with my right leg. That's going to be interesting. I got a lot of work to do, and with the sprained ankle, that's miserable. But we'll get through it. I mean, I sprained my ankle last summer too, so it seems to be a habit now that I'm getting older. So right down in that hole is the well hole. And so there's my pump. Now this pump's going to go down into that hole. About 120 feet. The well is 130 feet. And but you keep it 10 feet up off the bottom so you don't get sediment. And so what you're going to do, and I'm going to go through each step, is you're going to just piece down a pipe. So the first step I'm going to do is piece this on, and then I have my black pipe. So the pipe goes on like that. And then there's a check valve that goes on top of the pipe. The check valve makes sure that water only goes one way. It's going to go up. You don't want water coming back down the pipe, because every time you turn on the pump, it would have to fill that pipe back up, and then it comes back down. Maybe you can see that. So water, when water comes in where my finger is, it pushes that valve up, and then when it shuts off, it comes back down. Got my clamps. I had to buy special clamps according to the instructions, and then you have to buy a special tool. I think the clamp maker must make the tool, because of course that's where the money's going to be, huh? You only use, it's a one-purpose tool. I hate those things. Got some rope. We're going to lower it down with the rope, of course. Right here on the well pump are little holes that you tie the rope to. You don't want to lower it down by the pipe or the wire, because you'll rip that out. Now, in order to get the connections onto this, because it's really hard to get connections on, I saw a YouTube video that says just heat it up with a torch, and then the connections go on a lot easier. So I'm going to give that a try, and I'll walk you through each step. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate. I already tested it. It does work. I'm going to demonstrate how this works. This has not been heated, and so when you try to put this in, it's almost, well, you just can't do it. I don't know what you'd have to have, a press or something to do that. Take a torch, and it doesn't even take that much effort. You just torch it up like this. Expands it out a little bit, makes it softer. Now, it's probably cooled off for the camera, so it may not work as well. But, yep, see, I'm starting to get it in there. Much easier. So, that's a great trick. Okay, so these are these little clamps that we have to use. Slide it on. And then there's a special tool that you got to use. Looks like this. And this is the first one I'm done, so we're going to do it together. Here we go. Yep. That's all there is to it, I guess. Okay, going to try to do the next side. And that did it. Come up, put our clamp on, and squeeze. Okay, next thing I'm going to use is called Teflon tape. You can pick this up anywhere. Teflon tape seals the threads of your pipes. We used to use this in the Navy all the time. Never heard of it until I got into the Navy. We used it for everything. Now I know you can use plumber's dope and all kinds of different things, but I've always liked this, and I'm just going to stick with it. I'm sure your plumbers out there are going to say, no, you're doing it wrong. That's fine. But that's the thing is, doing it by yourself, you learn a lot, and it's kind of rewarding for me. All right, so I have the check valve piece in place now. So this will go right on top of the pump, like that. 130 feet of hose will go on top of this. I have two 100-foot rolls of pipe, so I'll have to put a splitter in it to connect the two. I won't use all of the second piece, obviously, because the well's only 130 feet and there's 200 feet of pipe. All right, got my rope attached. That's what I'll lower it down with again. And I'm gonna lower it down a little bit. I'm gonna put the 100 feet of hose on while it's down in the well. I think it'll be easier to work on there. I know it's going to be a little bit difficult to hear me. The generator is running. We finally got the well pump lowered down into the well. Not sure if you can see that. Right there. So I got a hose and we are running the water. I'm recycling the water right now. What I've done is I've put bleach. I put a half a bottle of bleach down into the well. And that's going to, what they call shock the well. And so I've dumped the bleach down in there. Now I'm just recirculating the water to get it good and mixed up. Do that for about a half hour. And then tomorrow I will pump the water out of the well until I don't smell bleach in it anymore. I don't know what the recovery rate of this particular well is. It may empty the well, or it may continue to fill up as we pump out. And so when I don't smell bleach anymore, then you stop pumping it out. The pump that I used, I bought on Amazon. It's a 110, 120 volt, 110 volt pump. It's 750 watts. I actually think it's a little bigger than that. I think Amazon gave me the wrong pump. I think they gave me a bigger pump. And the reason I think this is because I have an inverter. It's a 1,000 watt inverter, 2,000 watt peak inverter that should run the well. I've tested the inverter. It runs 1,000 watts. So the well should run on the inverter, but it doesn't. But the generator does. So that tells me the generator is 2,000 watts. It's not just peak watts. I can go over 1,000 watts with my generator and it will run like it is right now. I think the pump is bigger than in amps. So you got volts times amps equals watts. So I think it's bigger than what they sold me, which is fine. I mean, I can run it, but I'm gonna have to get a bigger inverter so I can run it off the solar panels as a backup. Actually, I would rather run the pump off the solar as the primary, use the generator as a backup. So right now I'm just running it, shocking the well, cleaning it up. It is very muddy, it's dirty water, a lot more dirty than when we came and looked at it. When we came here, we lowered a cup down into the well and pulled it out, and it was very clean. This is pretty muddy water, rightfully so, because we've just put a well down there and it beat up against the walls and all that mud fell down in there. So we'll let it set overnight and let it get good and clean, and then we'll pump all that water out and the bleach. It'll fill back up, and then we'll have fresh drinking water. Now, of course, I will still continue to use my Berkey purification system. There's no reason not to. We have it. I've always used it. I've used it before we started becoming nomads. As long as they make them, I'll try to buy them if I got the money. With the Berkey, you can literally just take it right out of the stream and drink it. We did that in Utah and in South Dakota, and the Berkey did fine. Remember, there's still bacteria. No matter how hard you try, there's going to be bacteria in the water. It's good bacteria. They're not necessarily all bad bacteria, but there's no reason to risk it. I mean, if one of these days something falls into the well or, whatever, I don't know, I guess there's the risk. But you're supposed to shock the well every now and then anyways. I forget how often, but you can look that up online and it tells you how often to shock the well. stage one, which is get the well pump running, is complete. Tomorrow we'll get the camper off the truck. That's stage two. And as far as I'm concerned, we're off grid now. We are off grid living. We got everything we need. And I think all the planning and preparation that we took for the last month and a half has really paid off. Thanks for watching.